When you first open Power Apps, the sheer volume of formulas can feel entirely overwhelming. There are hundreds of functions available, and it is incredibly easy to get lost in the documentation. But to build functional, reliable software, you actually only need just 5. While the library is vast, the core logic of nearly every production-level app, from inventory tracking to leave management, relies on 5 primary operations. Mastering this specific set provides the foundational tools required for professional app development. To get the most out of this breakdown, I recommend opening a blank Canvas app right now and connecting it to a sample data table, like an employee directory, so you can follow along. This roadmap shows the progression we will follow. These 5 functions, filter, lookup, search, sort by columns, and patch, form a specific sequence that moves you from simple data viewing to constructing interactive systems like expense trackers or inventory managers. Mastering this sequence moves you past the limitations of standard templates, giving you direct control over how your app processes, sorts, and saves information. This diagram illustrates the core data lifecycle. Every successful app operates by performing 3 distinct actions. It retrieves data from a source, organizes it for the user, and mutates or changes that data based on user input. We begin with retrieval. As this funnel graphic shows, our primary retrieval tool is the filter function. You use filter when you are looking at a massive dataset and need to funnel it down to a highly specific group of records. The syntax requires exactly 2 pieces of information. First, you declare the data source, in this case, your employees table. Second, you set the logical condition. Here, we are telling the app to only pull records where the department column matches IT. When you type this formula into your gallery's items property correctly, you will get instant visual validation. The screen will populate with multiple relevant items, like a complete list of your active IT staff. Filtering acts as your app's first line of defense. By strictly controlling what comes out of the database, you ensure your users only interact with the data required for their immediate task. Notice how the calipers in this graphic isolate a single block. That represents our next precision tool, the lookup function. You use lookup when your app needs to extract one and exactly one specific piece of data from the database. Lookup has a very specific behavior. It stops searching the database at the very first match it finds. This makes it the perfect tool for grabbing an exact value, like finding the specific email address attached to employee ID 1001. This query matrix table highlights a critical rule. Under what it returns, you can see that filter will always return a table of multiple records, while lookup returns a single record or value. The telescope graphic here represents our third retrieval method, the search function. While filter and lookup run strictly in the background, search puts the retrieval power directly into the hands of your user by connecting to a text input box. Look at the syntax. You define the data source, then point to the dynamic user input, like a search bar, and finally tell the app which column to check. As the user types even a partial word, the app instantly yields substring matches, populating the gallery in real time. Mastering filter, lookup, and search gives you precise control over what data crosses the bridge from your backend database into your user interface. Moving to the organize phase, this staircase diagram introduces sort by columns. Once you have retrieved your data, this function arranges those records into a logical, readable order, either ascending or descending. The real power happens when you combine tools. By writing your search formula inside the parentheses of your sort by columns formula, the app automatically forces the user's dynamic search results into alphabetical or chronological order instantly. This split-screen diagram brings us to our final pillar, mutating data. The patch function allows you to bypass standard rigid forms and write data back to the database using custom buttons and logic. To generate a brand new row of data, your syntax must include the defaults command. This tells Power Apps to target your table, create a completely blank record, and then fill it with the specific details you outline in the brackets. Updating an existing record requires a different approach. Instead of defaults, you must nest a lookup function inside your patch. This instructs the app to find one specific historical record first and then overwrite only the fields you specify. Warning tone. Pay close attention to this distinction. Confusing these two patch syntaxes is the most common way beginners accidentally overwrite or delete critical company data. Once you master Patch, you are no longer limited to out-of-the-box templates. You can build highly customized user interactions that modify your source data exactly how you intend. Now that we have these 5 tools, let's look at how they actually chain together to form a complete, functioning software architecture. This architecture flowchart maps out a standard leave management app. First, Filter limits the dashboard to personal requests, and Search finds past dates. Next, SortByColumns ensures newest requests stay on top. Finally, LookUp grabs the manager's email, and Patch commits the new record. To make this stick, open your Canvas app right now and attempt to nest a search formula inside a SortByColumns formula on your gallery. As you can see on this support slide, we provide one-on-one help to get your systems running smoothly. If you're ready to transition from a beginner to a pro with advanced data architectures, click the link in the description and let's build smarter apps together.